There are a ton of builds in Destiny, and with Frontiers on the horizon, I asked you all what you thought was the best build for every subclass on each class. Those votes and responses are what sparked this series to life, and I'm making these videos in hopes that they can be used as refreshers for current players and complete guides for new players looking to hop into the game. All of these builds will not be using the seasonal artifact and can be used in any endgame content that you would like to do. So if you want a build to work towards that should last theoretically forever, look no further. Once everything is posted, there will be a total of 18 builds for you to chase after, so if you're curious about another playstyle, definitely be sure to check them all out. I've been working on this project for quite a while, and it has definitely taken a long time, so I really hope you all can enjoy them. If it wasn't for you, series like this could not exist, so I just wanted to say thank you. And finally, if you are new here and enjoying the content, consider doing all the normal YouTube stuff and joining our Discord server. All of your support really does go a long way and is genuinely appreciated. But without further ado, thanks for clicking on the video, and let's jump right into the build. All right, we're moving on to the final Stasis build, and this one's going to be all about the Hunter. With this one, you are quite literally going to be able to spam your class ability in melee all the time, and it's going to grant you some crazy benefits. There's honestly a couple good Stasis builds that you can run, but I do think this one comes out on top, and it's going to take advantage of some of the newer gear in the game. The synergies that are involved with this build are absolutely insane, and I think it's one you all are going to love. But all right, just jump right into it. First off, our exotic is going to be the Mask of Fealty. So it has the exotic perk Null Factor. Withering Blade hits and bounces creates a small stasis crystal and refund a portion of melee energy. Using Withering Blade to shatter crystals or frozen targets releases a spread of Withering Blades. So essentially, this is just the Withering Blade exotic. Every single time it bounces on targets, you're going to be granted melee energy, which is obviously very good for spamming more. But every single time you get a melee hit, it's going to make a stasis crystal. This is very good because this just guarantees a freeze on whatever target you hit with Withering Blade, and this freeze can lead to a shatter, which causes massive damage. If you do throw these Withering Blades on frozen targets or a crystal, which obviously this melee can already do, you're going to be able to send out a giant spread of these Withering Blades that can go on to keep this chain reaction going. This is a very fun exotic, and it's honestly very good too. Just always be sure to aim for crystals and frozen targets to get the most mileage out of it. Now, to further increase that, let's take a look at our subclass, and one of the main ones that we need to run is going to be Winter Shroud. Dodging slows nearby targets. Slowing targets briefly increases your class ability regeneration. So this aspect honestly doesn't get utilized too much, but in all honesty, this is ridiculously strong with this build. You can obviously pair this with things like Gambler's Dodge, so when you dodge near a target, you're going to get your melee energy back. Then on top of that, you will now also apply a slow to them, and the most slept on part of this aspect is the fact that whenever you slow a target, you get increased class ability regen. The amount that you get is honestly insane. You're going to be able to spam your class ability in like 3 seconds in most cases, which obviously in return, if you're running Gambler's Dodge, is going to refund your melee energy. You want to refund your melee energy because you're exotic, and you're going to be able to freeze everything and cause these Withering Blades just to go everywhere. And then the next aspect we're going to be running is going to be Grim Harvest. So defeating slowed or frozen targets creates stasis shards. These shards grant melee energy when picked up by you or your allies, while Grim Harvest is equipped. Picking up stasis shards grant stacks of Frost Armor. So with Grim Harvest, this is another way to get your melee energy now, because any slowed or frozen target that is defeated will make a stasis shard. That means if you get kills with your Withering Blade, it'll make a stasis shard. If you kill the frozen target that your Withering Blade made, it will make a stasis shard. You're going to constantly be able to pick these up to spam your melee even more. And on top of that, it's granting you Frost Armor. Frost Armor is going to give you damage reduction, which is very good for survivability. Being able to freeze everything on the battlefield while having that extra damage reduction is very, very good. Now for the fragments, the first one we're going to be taking is Whisper of Fissure. So this will increase the damage and size of our stasis crystals and our frozen targets. So overall, just bigger explosions, a lot more damage. Next up is going to be Whisper of Refraction. So defeating slowed or frozen targets grants you class ability energy. This one is just disgusting with this. So you slow a target, you get class ability regen. You kill those slow targets, you get more class ability. This is going to allow you again to spam this, like I said, every 3 seconds or so, which in return will give you melees back. It is just ridiculously good. The next up is going to be Whisper of Conduction, so nearby stasis shards attract to you. The stasis shards that you make from Grim Harvest that are granting you melee energy and also Frost Armor, you don't have to worry about running picking them up. If you want to manually go pick the stasis shards up, you can swap this out for literally anything else you would like to, but just not having to worry about them. Plus, it also does give 10 resilience, which is obviously very good in PvE. This is a very, very good fragment to take, because you're going to be making stasis shards literally everywhere, so they just come to you and you get the max benefits of everything. And one of those other benefits is going to be Whisper of Hunger. So this is going to increase the melee energy you gain from stasis shards. So all the stasis shards you're making, they're tracking to you, you're refilling your melee, your dodge is refilling your melee. You can already see how you're going to be able to spam these all the time. And with Withering Blade, you already get 2 charges as it is. And then for the final fragment, it is just going to be Whisper of Rhyme. So your Frost Armor stacks have increased duration and you have a bigger max stack count. So this just means more Frost Armor, more damage reduction, last longer, so you're going to be tankier for a longer time. Now for the abilities, obviously we're taking Withering Blade. It's the only thing we can take, and like we just mentioned, you will get 2 charges of this, which is very, very good. I do like to run Dustfield just because it has the lowest cooldown of the grenade. You're not really going to be taking advantage of anything else, so having that Dustfield just to have a faster cooldown is nice. Gambler's Dodge is for sure a must, like we were just talking about, because you're going to be able to refill this melee extremely quick. And then for the super, Astonishing Squall is the only thing you can take, but no, honestly, it's not the worst super, you know, especially when you pair it with Whisper of Fissures to get that increased shatter damage. It can do pretty good. It's a decent ad clear super. It can kind of just do some passive boss damage. It's not the worst super in the game, but it's definitely not the best either. And now for the weapons with this build, I would highly try to get a weapon with Chill Clip. This is going to be for a couple different reasons. Running things like Headstone can work, but with Chill Clip, just doing any direct hit is going to basically cause a slowing field on the target that you shot. Panache's is by far the best weapon to have with this. So again, with Chill Clip, you'll shoot a target, make that, you know, slowing cloud essentially. Your Withering Blade can bounce, slow all the targets. That will lead to a freeze. The Withering Blade itself can already freeze because of your helmet. The Dust Field also can add slow, and eventually all these slow stacks are going to build up to a freeze. So you can just slow literally everything, freeze everything. And again, applying slow will give you increased class ability regen. So you can literally just shoot a target with Tenacious and you're going to refill your class ability. It almost works like Strategist in a way. You just have Strategist on the gun because of things like Winter Shroud, and it just synergizes so well with this build. But again, it's not necessary, but man, it makes the build feel a lot better. And then for the primary and heavy, it's totally up to you, just kind of whatever is in the current boss DPS meta. You're mostly going to be using your Tenacious as a primary anyway. You could even run double special if that's something you want to do. And then for the stats, definitely go with the 100 resilience to get your 30% damage reduction. And you might be thinking why I don't have strength with this build, and that's mainly because you're going to be getting your melee back all the time because of your Grim Harvest shards. And on top of that, take 100 mobility, because that is going to pair extremely nicely with Winter Shroud. You're going to get your dodge back so quick, you don't even need melee energy, because you could just use your Gambler's Dodge to get melee energy. You're going to be able to spam these all the time with this setup. And for the rest of the stats, I just throw them in Discipline. If you want to throw them in melee just to have that extra little added protection, feel free to do so, but just having that extra Dust Field energy is always nice. And then for the armor mods, this is what I'm running if you like to copy them down, but as a closer look, I do run a Harmonic Siphon, so Rapid Stasis Weapon Final Blows can make an orb. Now my Tenacious can make Orbs of Power, which is very, very good. A Hands-On, so I get bonus super energy on melee kills, and a Dynamo, so I get bonus super energy when I use my class ability near targets. These are a no-brainer to take. You're going to be able to spam both of these back and forth all the time, but again, the orbs are very nice. Next up, it's just going to be a Harmonic Loader, so I increase the reload speed of my Stasis weapon, just so I can reload the Tenacious a lot faster. Next up is Impact Induction and Focusing Strikes. Whenever I cause damage with a power melee, I'm going to get Grenade cooldown, and I'm also going to get class ability cooldown. Once again, just further playing into the loop of chaining all of these abilities. Next up, for your chest piece, just go with resistant mods, swap these off whatever content that you are going into. And then for our boots, I do like to take a Recuperation and a Better Already. So Recuperation is going to give you a bump of health whenever you pick an orb up, and Better Already will start your health generation. So if you don't take damage, you're going to just heal to full, but the Recuperation bump is just extremely nice. It is just very, very good for the survivability. And lastly, it's just an Absolution, so I get cooldown for everything when I pick an orb up. Again, you don't really need to specifically play into anything particular here, because you're going to get your class ability back already as it is. Your melee is going to be coming back extremely fast. Even if you want to, you could opt in to take an Innervation here, but I do take an Absolution just to further increase the uptime of my other abilities. But again, that is totally up to you. Kind of the same thing here with the class item as well, because things like Distribution is going to do the exact same thing. When you use your class ability on your targets, you're going to get energy back to everything. If you want to swap this out to something like a Bomber, you can totally do so. But the other ones, Powerful Attraction is very good, because again, you're going to spam this all the time. You're going to be able to pick all the orbs up. Those orbs are going to play into survivability, plus also spamming more abilities. And then also, I like to take Special Finisher, because when you're max armor charge stacks, you're going to make special ammo. Since a Chill Clip weapon is going to be your main weapon of use here, something like Tenacious, you're going to be able to have infinite ammo with it. So Special Ammo Finisher is extremely nice. And now for the 15th video of me saying the same thing, but like I do at the end of all these videos, you do not have to run a single artifact perk for this build to work. Now, obviously, there's nothing wrong with running artifact perks, and if you come in here in Frontiers and there's anything related to slow, stasis, your melee, Definitely be sure to click on these because it's going to make this build a lot better. But once again, you don't have to run a single thing here, and this build will still be able to do anything you want it to do. And then for the absolute final part of the build, this is the transmog I'm running. Once again, taking advantage of the shards of stillness shader, aka the stasis shader. I went for a very sharp themed look here with the hunter, obviously playing into the horns and the exotic armor with the cloak, and then the arms also have some, you know, pointy things coming out. Overall, I think the hunter did turn out looking pretty sick, probably the best out of all of the stasis builds that I made. And if you want to make your hunter look like this, definitely be sure to copy it down. But that is going to do it all for the stasis hunter. In all honesty, this might be one of my favorite hunter builds. Just being able to spam your class ability and melee literally all the time while also just throwing out giga shurikens is just so much fun. Do I think this is the best hunter build in the game? No, I think Prismatic is probably still going to give you the most bang for your buck, but you can say that with almost any build at this point. But if you want a very, very, very strong stasis build that is a ton of fun to play, I would definitely recommend giving this one a try. As always, though, if you are a veteran player and watch this all the way through, I truly appreciate it and hope you learned at least one thing new. And if you're a new or returning player, I wish you all the best of luck putting this build together for yourself. Anyways, though, that's going to do it all for me. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you all have a great day. Peace.